Welcome back to the TrailBLAZER Pod. I'm your host, Faye, and each week I bring you stories of Jewish women who are paving bold new paths. This week's guest is Asia. Her story is one of weaving many worlds, growing up in an Italian family, discovering Judaism, and finding her voice. From corporate fashion to entrepreneurship, she shares how she's balancing motherhood and identity while designing a brand and a life that reflects her values and her heart. Let's dive in. Asia, welcome to the TrailBLAZER
Okay.
Pod. Thanks for being here. You have a really fascinating story, basically from every angle you can think of. I was like, how am I gonna fit everything into this conversation? Because it's super unique, like your journey and everything you're doing with like your passions and your strengths. So let's start from the very very beginning. Can you share what your like early context was? Like how what was your family like? How did you grow up?
Okay, so I grew up in New Jersey and I have one sibling, a brother, Michael. We're 13 months apart.
Oh.
So we're kind of like Irish twins. There's my scarf.
Mm.
I am the older one. And it's my parents and my brother. And we grew up like regular family, like really close with my extended family. I am from a large Italian family, and I grew up Catholic. Not so connected to the Catholicism, but very connected to my
Mm-hmm.
Italian culture and to just Jersey in general. We went to public school. We moved. I guess the big change kind of growing up is that we moved when I was 14 from this small, like working class, definitely non-Jewish town to this um, wealthy town
Mm-hmm.
that happened to also have lots of Jews.
Yeah.
And that was like my first real experience of like being in a Jewish community. And that was a pretty big deal, especially since I was supposed to go to an all-girls Catholic school, and thank God
Wow.
that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then I went to a really nice public school. So
Wow.
that's it's
Okay.
kind of like the upbringing. And then when I was 18, like throughout high school, I wasn't grappling with like me feeling like I was
Mm-hmm.
Jewish or anything. That didn't come for a few years later, but it was almost like my first like grappling with like I wanted to go and be in the city. I wanted to go to art school. I wanted to take these different classes. And, I feel like anyone can kind of relate, especially if they have like more of the parents are not so old school, but like
Traditional.
telling,
Yeah.
maybe third generation or second generation immigrant
Yeah.
family, like, oh yeah, now I want to go become an artist. They're like, how the hell are
That's
you
not a
making
safe.
money?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how are you making money? And you
Right.
have to pay for this?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So, and also it was like the summer camp option. So I went
Mm.
to programs in college at FIT and at the School of Visual Arts. And we didn't like, we never did that.
Right.
So, like growing up, I didn't go to sleepaway camp. My kids go to sleepaway camp.
Yeah. Wow.
But like non-Jewish kids didn't do those things
Yeah.
then. And they certainly didn't take the train to Manhattan to go draw people.
Yeah.
Like my
Yeah.
dad's like, we have to pay for this? What are you nuts? Like, can
Wow.
you
That's
just
so
do this in
funny.
your room?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's really once they
Okay.
came around to that, that was the first, I guess, like me breaking into my own saying,
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, I'm gonna go do this thing.
Wow. So, okay. This really paints a picture, but I'm curious, like before this, what were you like as a kid? Like, were you
Uh,
always creative?
yes, I was
Okay.
definitely the most creative one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to like toot my own horn or anything, but in high school in the yearbook, I was nominated for most original. So,
Oh,
you know,
you can toot your
I might
horn.
not have been the valedictorian, but at least I got that with my
Yes.
friend Lenny Rago, who was very creative.
Wow.
Um, so whatever that means. But middle school was like my like coming of age kind of,
Mm-hmm.
time to shine. The good thing about growing up in the town that I did was that it was very diverse. And just probably like any suburban town or any place that you kind of grow up in general, it's a little homogenized, for
Mm-hmm.
whatever it was. And I was a little out there, like with
Mm-hmm.
my clothes choices or music or what I liked or this. And everyone was really awesome and open. And I felt I was always very a
Wow.
part of every kind of group. I had my group, but I was friends with these people and these people and these people and these people, and it was a really like I felt like it was a very accepting bunch.
Wow.
I'm into the scarf trend, but like seriously, like it's
I
not.
mean, it looks good.
It looks good. I'm into the scarf trend, but it's not practical right now. But anyway, I feel like I
You're
needed a
funny.
pop, you know.
I love it. It matches your nails, I see.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
too. So I'm
So
trying with the trends here, people.
you're doing great. You're doing great.
I was really, I could share if you would like also about like my fashion, like my
Yes.
moment, because
Yes.
that was in middle school and that really changed the
Oh,
game.
wow. That's
Um,
young.
well, we had home economics in
Mm-hmm.
in middle school. Like my middle school was from 5th to 8th grade, and you had I had woodworking, and I've made a bunch of things.
Wow.
Like everyone else was making birdhouses. I made like a desk and a table and like really cool stuff, and then painted it awesome with my mom. And then we had home economics, and in 6th grade, the assignment was to make boxer shorts. It was the 90s, and like boxer shorts were big. So I said, I'm not making the same thing that everyone else is making. And how am I going to wear these boxer shorts? Like it's a one-time use. And then I said, I'm going to make a dress. And I didn't really care about sewing. I thought it was like too domesticated, too like, quote unquote, like a woman's job or something, whatever I thought of as a 6th grader. And I really just like took the idea and went with it and had so much fun. And it just was this aha moment of like, wow, I can be creative and make things, but make something that's actually practical. And then I started just like me and my grandma, like in the basement, like making patterns out of newspaper and outfits for dances. And then I like did costumes for the plays, like the school plays. And
That's
it
so
really
cool.
was just my medium of creativity.
Wow.
Were the most outlandish things. And you would think, if my daughter wore that to her school, everyone would be like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
But everyone, just like any, middle school kid, but everyone was like, that's so cool.
Like, that's
So,
cool. That's Asia.
yeah, and they got it. I don't
Yeah.
have like my name,
That's
it's different. So
it's very interesting because I feel like even some people that I have on here that are very creative, they always say they like felt like other, right? Like, did you
yeah.
ever experience that?
I did when I moved to high school. It was, just make a long story short, it's a jappy town. It's like I didn't know what Prada was at 14 years old. Who would know that as a 14-year-old? Like I didn't, and it was the 90s. The backpack was like all the rage. I had no idea. It wasn't that's not the kind of group I came from. And everyone was like a little cookie cutter.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the hardest part of like living sometimes in the modern Orthodox world. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling high school,
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
geez, this is a lot. But it felt a little like that. Like I had these pink suede hush puppy like loafers that were so cool. And I remember like putting my feet up in class, and this one boy was like, WTF.
Wow.
I'm like,
yeah.
no, WTF to you. Like, I don't need you. Like it was crazy. So it was a little like that. But then you can also say, like, I'm not going to say bad things about that because it made me stronger and I still just never cared. And then they still like kind of honored me at the end of high school of like, oh, that's who she is. Like good thing she's like that, And it was good. And I still was friends with a bunch of people too. It wasn't
right. You didn't feel isolated.
No. It takes a lot for me to feel isolated. I'm gonna like inch my way and make a friend. I'm not.
You're like,
I'm just gonna make a friend in another group.
Okay. Seems like you were very self-assured even as like a young age. Like you just weren't intimidated by.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. My son, my middle guy, he's very like that. He just
really? That's
cool.
his thing. Takes it after his mama.
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, so I think it's really interesting that you knew at such a young age that you have this like interest in fashion, and you actually attended Pratt Institute and you earned a BFA in fashion design, and you clearly knew what you wanted to do. But why, like, out of all the creative stuff you can do, like, of course, like you figured out you made the clothes and whatever, but like, why fashion?
it's the, like, I'm going to say it's the medium, it's the thing that really spoke to me. I'm a product designer, like, let's be honest, a fashion designer is a product designer. I could also be designing headphones and water bottles that I'm staring at right now. I could design any of those types of things. I think as an artist, it's nice to create a tangible piece.
Mm-hmm.
Not most people. The dress that I designed, that I went into every little detail and fit and this and fabric. Okay, it's a dress. Just, to some people, it's like, oh, I bought a dress at this brand, whatever. It's not just that. Like, even if chas v'shalom, you're gonna buy on H&M or Shein or chas v'shalom, it's still someone, maybe not as well thought out of there probably, but like, there's stuff behind it. It's not just this, like, you're just throwing something together. It's a real process.
Yeah.
And I like I don't know, maybe I like a goodie bag, like leaving with a gift, leaving with something, like I need to like make things,
That makes a lot of sense.
I wasn't going to go to school. I was good in high school. I got really good grades. I didn't do well on the SATs. I'm not because I probably wasn't smart enough. I just was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell you anything about myself.
Right.
And then like when I went on an interview for college and showed them all of my art and then like talked to them, they were like, wow, this is the package. I'm not good at like just taking the test and reading. It's more of an experiential thing. Yeah. So I needed, like, that's what the art needed to be. I could make paintings. You could read into the painting, but it just didn't feel like the thing that really spoke to me.
That makes a lot of sense. So what was your like career goal with that? Because I think it can go so many different ways.
Yeah. My career goal, I wanted to have a corner office, be the vice president of the brand, and have a bunch of people reporting to me, and what they kind of like, almost like, they groom you to be. And I hate to say it, but like corporate, it's great. It's super creative. It's super awesome, but there's a lot of politics involved. Mm-hmm. And you're kind of like sitting like at the computer, you're here. I'm stagnant. Yeah. I never thought I would be my own boss and an entrepreneur and doing my own thing. But I'm so glad because it also, like, I'm such a physical person. I teach yoga. That also goes with my brand. I can't sit here all day. Yeah. It's just not.
It's like you're saying, you're experiential. You like that part. Yeah.
Yeah. And also as an artist, like there's only so much that you can create and do just by being here or looking on the internet. Right. You need to be out and doing things, moving and meeting people. So I really thought I was going to like, okay, great. I'm going to do this job, move up from this to, go on the ladder, take the steps, do the thing.
Yeah. Well, how long did you do it before and we'll talk about your brand later, but I just want a timeline.
Yeah. So I graduated college in 2005. And I moved to New Jersey in 2016, and I still did that for 3 more years. So, 15 years. Wow. Right? I worked in corporate for 15 years. Wow. So, and it was great. I loved it. And fashion is amazing, like, because you can still go back to the garment district and run into people, and it's a small world, or like I see people online or meet a friend or whatever, and like, you like know the same lingo. Yeah. It's like the shtetl, like it's the same. It's like another shtetl that I'm a part of. It's great. I love it. Yeah. They like get you, they speak your language, and you just know things. It doesn't matter if you're working with them every day or not. Yeah. So
at the same time this was happening, kind of, you graduated college, and then if I'm not wrong, at 23 you converted to Judaism.
You did such good research.
Thank you. Oh, I appreciate it. It's one of my favorite parts about this. Thank you.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
I did not convert at 23 to Orthodox Judaism. I converted at 23 to conservative Judaism.
Got it. Okay. Cool. Okay.
And then I converted at 26 to Orthodox Judaism.
Got it. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about this. Mm-hmm. How did this come about?
Well, it started at 20. My freshman year of college, I went out clubbing with my friends on a Monday like any old girl would do. And she brought her boyfriend, and her boyfriend brought his best friend. I still talk to this friend I just talked to yesterday. We're still close. So and And then he, like, in a real, like, nutshell, he says, "Oh, I'm Israeli." And I said, "Oh, you speak Yiddish?" And he said, "No, I speak Hebrew." And then that's like how we started dating.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
It was funny.
Yeah.
But he was like, it kind of felt similar because he's Sephardi and I'm
Mhm.
Italian. So it was like a kind of a machismo,
Yeah.
sense for the guy. And I kind of got that. But he was very Israeli. Like
Mhm.
they watched Israeli TV. They spoke in Hebrew all the time in front of me. I was like in another
Mhm.
country,
Yeah.
as a kid, as an American kid, it's a lot, I think.
It is, yeah.
And I don't feel like I wasn't notified that we would be going to Shabbos every Friday night.
Mm,
I just
mm.
knew that we needed to rush to this dinner that they served the same food at every week with
Got
the
it.
same family. Like,
Okay.
why are we rushing? What is the
And
point?
no one explained it to you or
It
anything.
wasn't fully explained, but it
Okay.
was explained that we couldn't get married.
Oh, okay.
I knew that, like, the Jewish guys that I was into in high school, they would be like, "Oh, great, you're not Jewish. Like, who cares? That's fine for
Yeah,
now,
for
but not
now.
to marry yet." So I
Yeah.
kind of knew those things,
Right.
but I never really I didn't know that much about Judaism.
Mhm.
But I was like curious, religiously curious, and I knew I wasn't getting it from just going to church with my family the few times a year we went. And I was like, well, maybe we can just, like, I'm moving to Brooklyn. Maybe I can try something else.
So, just out of curiosity, like, why were you interested in trying like Judaism versus like starting to go to church more often and like
Well,
exploring?
okay. So in college, my dad did say it would be really nice if you went to church because he probably was scared, like leaving me in the middle of nowhere. I didn't know anybody. It was dangerous. I
Yeah.
get that. So having some sort of stability, and I said, sure, I'll go. And I started to go. So I thought it would make me feel good, but
No.
it was pretty because it's so like grandiose, not like a suburban church or something, like this big old, beautiful church.
Yeah.
But it didn't have anything else to me, after all of that beauty. And then just, I guess it was nice that maybe the boyfriend didn't say so much like, outward like Jewish things of like, we do this or you can't do that. That I just kind of saw it by osmosis of like, oh,
Right.
this is nice. Like everyone comes together. It feels very much like my family on Sunday. There was like this tradition of like, oh, you're doing this all the time. And then when it came time for Rosh Hashanah and I said, I want to go to shul to see what this whole thing is about, sitting upstairs by myself and him downstairs, you really got a chance to be,
Yeah.
that you could be like, oh, wow, huh. This feels like he's talking, like this rabbi's talking to me.
Yeah.
Like this feels
Wow.
very like something was this like sparked something.
Mhm.
And then I really, really went with it. And then I started going to my college campus rabbi,
Wow.
my Chabad campus rabbi, and then going to the shul that he was affiliated with in Brooklyn Heights. My husband and I wound up getting married by that rabbi,
Wow.
my Chabad rabbi in Brooklyn Heights. And just like getting kind of into it and him being like, well, I just wanted to be Jewish. I don't want to be that
Yeah,
Jewish.
yeah.
You know?
I feel like that happens a lot, right? Like when
Yeah, totally.
yeah. Yeah.
That's why, like, after, like, I did my conservative conversion by myself, like, just me,
Mhm.
with all these other people who was doing it for a spouse, who was doing it because they loved it, or
Right.
everyone loved it, but like, they just wanted to do it on their own. And then with the Orthodox conversion, they were really asking my husband more questions than me because they were like, well, we know she's into it. They don't want to say it probably, but they're probably like, she's already Jewish.
Yeah.
We know why she's here. But like, are you going to be down?
Why are you here? Yeah.
Yeah, like, are you going to hold
Wow.
her back? Are you going to do the things? Are you just
Wow.
here because you want her to be fully, recognized? So that was
Yeah.
the journey, like for me. But I felt like the Orthodox conversion, I was a little bit more backseat because it was kind of more about my husband, which was nice.
Interesting. How did you meet?
Oh, I met my husband, like how I talk about on TikTok all the time, where everyone, they say, oh, where do I need a husband? How can I need a Jewish husband? I'm like, synagogue. What do you mean? Hello, I would preach to my girlfriends all the time. They're like, where am I meeting a Jewish guy? And we would like make the rounds on Friday night, like NYU, this school, that, like
Wow.
Thousand Chappatone, go to Crown Heights, like whatever. And I'm like, you meet a Jewish guy at school. Where else are you meeting
Yeah.
Jews? But like at a conservative school, they're like not really under 60. So like
Oh,
the one time I happened
that's
to be
funny.
at school with our friend that he led davening. And he said to Evan, he kept saying to Evan, you should come, you should come. It's really nice. And it was really nice davening. And I loved it. And then I would like go to dinner, whatever I did on Friday night. And Evan happened to be there one Friday
Wow.
night. But we didn't start dating right away. It wasn't until, if that was like January, we started dating. I like asked him if he was going to shul on Yom Kippur because I needed someone to go with. And then we started dating like after Yom Kippur.
Wow. And
So
how did the conversation about like the Orthodox conversion come up?
it was like really subtle. It wasn't that memorable. Like I think
Really?
we were having beers and dinner at a non-kosher German restaurant or something in Park Slope in my old neighborhood and being
Wow.
like not saying like, oh, I feel like this is like gonna get serious, like this is kind of it. But not saying it, but saying it. You don't want to be the first person in the relationship to
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
And then saying like, well, I've always wanted to do an Orthodox conversion. This seems like it's going that way. I'll just like, we should just
Wow.
like, of course we're going to do this. And it was like, okay, like pass
It
another
was like
beer.
a natural thing.
Yeah, I wasn't offended and he didn't not think I was Jewish. People will kind of say that sometimes of like, oh, did he not? No, he met me in synagogue. He knew I was already Jewish.
Yeah.
Like his whole family didn't think I wasn't Jewish
Right.
already. This was just another little layer.
Right.
And it was fine.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it was just like a little conversation.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
What was your family's reaction to you converting in the first place?
Well, they wanted, I went on an epic trip to Europe for 6 weeks and my mom was kind of, maybe, you should try out Europe and going to churches and seeing if you think of any, feel anything. And I was like, okay, fine. Like I always gave them the chance. I didn't feel any sort of connection. I did it for a while, nothing religious. By the way, on Thursday, I'm converting to Judaism. Like, I wasn't dating anybody at the time. So I think it was a little bit better.
Because they knew it was from you?
Yeah. Like it really got better when my husband came along because it was like, oh, he's cool. Like my parents were just worried, like we weren't going to become fanatical.
Which makes sense.
I'm like saying to my husband of like, we don't want this to come between us. And that doesn't happen with us. So I think that was like, they felt good about it.
Okay. Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think it was a good thing. It took a long time. Obviously it didn't happen overnight, but it was definitely like a journey.
I'm just curious if there was like any hard part, like anything you struggled with, or it was very much clear to you, like this is what I want and it makes sense and it aligns, and like what was that experience like for you?
So I still to this day like have like, fears of like this fitting in.
Really?
Like as this person of, I'm my own individual thing. Like my husband says, like you had to make your own clothing brand because God forbid you wore something. Like even when you make a black skirt, God forbid you wore the black skirt from somebody else. Like you
so
can't.
Funny.
Asia needed to do her own thing. I'm like, that's exactly right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for knowing me. That's so cute.
And letting me do that. Like, there's definitely that. But I hope like I picked a place where I do think, like I like always have this idea that I'm making this shirt. Like I live in Teaneck, okay? That's gonna say like Teaneck, it's not as bad as you think. Like I hope people think that's funny because it's funny.
That is
Like
funny.
I actually think it's like got a lot of types of people. Like a lot of times people will be like, oh my gosh, you live there? Like that's so whatever they think it is, their conception of this person and this guy, this girl and this guy, this is what they look like. I think it's like a schmorg, like it's a whole thing. And I find
that's great.
Diverse Jewishly, diverse non-Jewishly, like I think it's good.
Okay,
so
great.
I mean, I'm not saying it's like,
Perfect.
Like, am
Yeah.
I retiring here? I have no idea. Maybe like somewhere else, on an
Yeah.
island. I have no idea. So, yeah, there was definitely that. But I come into my own. I find myself. I think
Hmm.
anything too, because the community that I do live in, it's like, oh, this one might have grown up this way and now they do this, or this one did this and now they do that. Or
Right.
I think it's like a nice place where people, not everybody is the same.
Yeah. That's
And
great.
yeah, at least
Wow.
my world of this place.
Okay. Well, your world is what matters to you,
Yeah.
right? That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so back to your brand and all
Yeah.
the your designing and the fashion, and I love how it just really goes back to you being a kid. I think that's so interesting because so many of us think we want to do something at 14 and then life is so different, right?
Yeah.
Um at what point did you decide corporate isn't for you and I want to be my own boss?
Okay. So as much as I'm like an independent, I
Mhm.
need someone else to kind of tell me what to do.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting,
Okay.
interesting.
I
Okay.
like when you say to me, "Oh, okay, here, do these and these," and I'm
Mm.
like, "Great, check,
Direction?
check." Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I like that. So in fashion, you get laid off. It's
Mhm.
not like an unheard of thing. The first time I got laid off, I was like devastated. Like, oh my gosh, it's me.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
terrible. Like, this is so me. It wasn't
Yeah,
about me. It was,
right. It
fashion's
happens.
busy. And
Yeah,
it's like this in out kind of
yeah.
place. So I went back. I had Levy as our third kid, and I took 5 months off of maternity leave, and I went back to work, and I was just like, why am I schlepping to
Mm,
the city? I'm commuting. This isn't even that amazing. It kind of sucks. It just wasn't so fabulous at all.
got it.
And I knew that when I took the job like 2 years before, but I'm like, whatever, it's this one thing leads to another and it's
Right.
fine. And then I got pregnant. I'm like, okay, who cares? And then one day they said, oh, this is not working out. It wasn't working out. It was too expensive. The budget didn't cut it and they could hire
Yeah.
someone younger and cheaper and all that. And I didn't really even, I wasn't like the least bit sort of upset. I was shocked of like, oh geez, here we go
Yeah.
again. And it hadn't been like for a while of being in that limbo of like finding a job.
Yeah.
And I like went to the bathroom and kind of like laughed in the mirror of like, of course, Hashem, this is happening. Like, of course you're gonna do this right now. Of course.
Wow.
Yeah, because my
Yeah.
husband had just said to his company, and he worked in corporate fashion, but on the business side, that he was leaving and they gave him a severance. And he was like, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do next. So, of
Wow.
course, it happened that I also got out of a job. I'm
Oh,
like,
you're in it together.
but I had all of these yoga jobs for the
Mhm.
summer because yoga in the summer with kids is like I teach a ton of kids yoga. So I had a ton
Okay,
of stuff lined up. And I just got this new client to do a freelance project with. We were designing a collection for QVC. And I was like, oh, well, I have that thing.
right.
So I have money on that. I'm like, okay, I'm doing my own, I'm working for myself.
Yeah.
I had been taking my own clients doing like consulting design work
On the
for a
side.
few years
Oh,
already.
okay.
Yeah. And teaching yoga. I always have like
Okay.
so
A
many other,
couple of different things.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I have my steady salary. I have these things. I'm doing all
Yeah.
that. So I knew that was going to be okay, at least for the summer. And then I met with my friend who became a career coach. We used to work in design together.
Mm.
And she like got up in my face when I was like, here's my resume. Let's redo my resume. And she's like, we're not redoing your resume. You're going to design something for your community.
Mm.
And that's what you're going to do. And you're going to blend your yoga and this thing.
Yeah.
And that's the deal. And,
Wow.
and she's like a Black girl from Long Island. Like
Wow.
she didn't know my community. I didn't know what she was talking about.
Yeah.
And I said, who? Like, I didn't know the community. I'm like, who are these people? She's like, I don't know. Who are they? I'm like,
Yeah.
I have no idea. Like, I'm like in Teaneck, you're like, you could be in like a Minion. I'm like, where?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those people right freaking in front of me.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
So then that's like how it happened. So since I
Wow.
always designed activewear, I'm like, wait, I live in Teaneck. I see these ladies. They walk around in their skirts and their things. That looks really uncomfortable.
Hmm.
Like they don't look like they can breathe so well. It doesn't look so cute. I'm going to do
Doesn't look
that.
so cute.
You know, I think I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll make activewear, but I'll just make
Wow.
more fabric on top of it,
Yeah.
you know, because
Wow.
I wasn't so modest at the time. So I'm
Mm.
like, oh, I could do that.
Wow. Okay, so it was like it affected your personal journey with it as well.
It affected, I wasn't so modest. I
Yeah.
mean, I I don't feel like I am doing modesty because, you know, I didn't grow up FFB or like in this
Right, right.
from family. And my daughter doesn't feel this way either. You know, like my daughter wears leggings out, shorts,
Yeah.
skirt, like whatever she wants. Like we're not like
Right.
that. So I didn't grow up in this like, no, you know? So I'm like, great. If I want to wear this, great. If I don't want to wear this, I don't have to
So
wear this.
you're like more like I want to make it accessible. That if you do
Yeah.
want to
Or
wear it.
it's like something that like makes me feel good,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So I'm doing things because it makes me feel a certain way. Like
Yeah.
I keep kosher because I like how I feel keeping kosher.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
That's important. That's
like
an
your
important
body is a
distinction.
vessel, like a
Right.
vibe.
Wow, that's so interesting. So, what was the reaction from your community, as your friend called it, when you created this?
Well, then I just like opened up an Instagram. I'm like, I'm gonna do this,
Yeah.
and I started telling everybody. My husband's like, you don't even. What the hell are you doing? I'm like, I
What
don't
are
know.
you
I'm
talking?
He's like, I'm starting it now. And they designed it, I started. I'm like, because
Wow.
I work in fashion. So like the people I was doing the project with that summer, my my like partner was like, oh, well, he has a factory in LA and he's going to help you. And I'm like, oh, great. So it
You
went
already
quicker.
had yeah.
It's not so long. It didn't take,
Right.
it took long because it was also turned into COVID year. And I didn't know I knew that. But like it wasn't, I've
Right.
done other jobs for people creating brands. It takes them so long because they don't know
Like you
anything
didn't have to start like
from
learning a new
scratch.
skill. You just were doing something else with the skill.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
like, oh, I call this guy. I know that person. Oh, I'm going to
Yeah.
call you. Oh, okay, great. Done.
Right. Okay.
So it's a different thing. So when people come to me and say, oh, I'm going to start a brand, I'm like, okay, great. But they have to hire me to start their brand. They can't just,
And you didn't have to.
I didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Or like I'll call in a favor from a friend of like, hey, I know you're good at this. You do this for me.
Right.
Okay, great.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a lot easier. It's more cost effective, at least
Yeah.
for, you know, I guess anybody. And I just knew all of the stuff that it would take you a long time to figure out on your own.
I think that's interesting because I think a lot of times people feel like they want to be their own boss and they like sit there and rack their brains like what do I do? What do I do? And they like try to think of like basically create something out of nothing.
Yeah.
When a lot of times it's like just already the stuff that we have and built up.
Yeah.
And just kind of like recreating it in a different form, right?
Yes.
Which is I think people get scared to like look inward and be like, what do I know? It's
What am I
like,
good
let me
at?
just shut the door and start from scratch, which
Yeah. It's
doesn't.
like the whiteboard kids in colleges, like creating
Right.
amazing companies and brands, but not knowing.
Right. Right.
It's like, okay, great. You went to Penn. Like, wonderful. Harvard. Like, okay. And they're great and they come up with amazing things.
Yeah.
But like, is it like a thing?
Yeah. And also, you don't need to do that, right? That's just, I mean, a lot of times that's the stories we hear, but that's not, you don't need to go that path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like a sidebar story, but I just went to a pitch fest in the city in June.
Cool.
It was cool. And these two young girls from Penn, they got up there and they put on this amazing presentation about the NICU. And they wanted to create, or they did, they created this like little like hat for kids that would block the sound. I didn't know the NICU was that loud. Like there's buzzers and
machines.
Yes, sirens and things and,
you
know, alarms going off all the time.
Yeah.
And it really causes PTSD in these little, little teeny
yeah.
babies. So it was like a little cocoon of a head for their head. So they would block it out. Now I was like, this, oh my gosh, if I had millions, I'm totally investing in your company. You know, like this is amazing.
Yeah.
And then the guy that they pitched, he thought, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But he said, well, where's this? Like, I also looked at him like, you're 20 something years. Like, what do you know about the NICU?
Yeah. Also, where did they have like a personal experience with it?
And they didn't say that.
Interesting.
It's like, okay, great. But like, you're not a mom. It's not like you need to be a mom.
Yeah.
But
where's the story?
Like, connection. It's just like with my brand. Like, there's this connection of like, oh, I started dressing more modest.
I mean, you are your brand.
Right?
Yeah,
I am.
And that's what it comes down to is like, are you your brand or are you
Yeah.
just, yeah,
Because we're not all like, you don't need to buy crap. Like, like you have a podcast. There's millions of podcasts. There's millions of companies that sell the things I do. But like, why are you going to your thing or
right,
my thing?
exactly.
Because of
Right,
this. This is
right.
like, it's the
Exactly.
energy, the feeling that you're giving people.
Yeah.
It's not just the thing, the
Yeah.
conduit.
Exactly. And that's what the thing about competition is like, is there really is no two stories are alike. There's no two, your company is
Yeah.
different than another athleisure company, right? You have a
Yeah.
different story. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Um,
hope that's what they tell me. But I
it's
hope
good.
they're feeling that, like,
I
like,
mean, if they're telling you that, then they feel
yeah, like,
it. Right?
I feel like, or I
Yeah.
want to move, or I feel positive, or I feel like I'm,
Yeah.
doing something good for the world by wearing, like by doing this and
Yeah.
supporting. Like, it's a nice
Okay.
thing.
Amazing. Yeah. Look, we're getting entrepreneurial advice here. So let's get some more. Can you talk to me about being an entrepreneur? Like, what were some of the challenges that you faced in the beginning of actually, starting this from scratch?
Well, knowing what people want.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what
How
I
did you find
want.
out?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then seeing what they want. And also, like, you're saying, we were talking about community. Like, I sometimes still feel like I don't fully know the community because it's, especially when you get into the modestness thing, like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, she wears a long sleeve. Okay, she wears a short sleeve, but her
Yeah.
short sleeve is only an inch above the elbow. Okay, hers
Right.
is below the elbow. Okay, hers is here.
There's so
Like,
much. Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, you guys are driving me crazy. You're
Yeah.
driving me crazy. Like, oh, I wear above the knee. Oh, that's too long. Can you make it shorter? Oh, can you make it longer? I'm like,
Yeah, you can't please everybody.
like,
Yeah.
okay, like
Yeah.
I'm like learning. I kind of like learned about modesty or any of this from them, which is nice.
Wow.
And it's a big one, to
Like real life
understand.
education.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I am the modern Orthodox. Like those, like I have people on both sides, but like that's the core.
Got it. Okay.
Like that's kind of the person who it is because
That's you.
yeah, and that's the biggest customer, but there
Okay.
is definitely like I got an order the other day from Curious Soul and I was like, woohoo!
Wow. Okay,
It's
that's
like
cool.
if I get that or if I get like definitely someone who does not have a Jewish name, I'm like, woohoo!
Because you're reaching the
Nice.
periphery of what you're, yeah, that's
Yeah.
super cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she
Well,
ordered quarter sleeve shirts. That's what she should be wearing.
right. Okay.
So that was cool.
Wow,
So,
interesting.
those are,
The little intricacies.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
so listening to the customer, um, and seeing really what they need. So I really
Yeah.
try to offer things for what they say. Like I send email polls before a
Mm.
collection and be like, oh,
User
okay.
feedback.
Yeah. So like the major feedback this year was like, we really want longer. Great, longer, fine. We want more colors. Everybody wants more of everything that we
Yeah.
have, which is
Yeah.
a great thing. Sometimes I'm like, I can't make, I wish I could make every single thing right now. I'm not
Yeah.
at a place that I can make everything one day. So just offering more variety, more colors,
Wow.
more tops. That's what we're really going to do for fall. They want more colors of tops. And they want more pockets or they want,
Mm.
more dresses and things like that. So it's
That's so
really
cool.
evolved to like, it really started with one item, our all day active skirt, and it's evolved into like a whole collection of modest athleisure. So it's like to certain people, I'll say, okay, it's a modest Lululemon. Like you're just wearing this all day. Maybe you're working out. Maybe you're just going about your day. It's workwear. It's athleisure. It's working out. It's all of the things
Yeah.
that you do.
Yeah. I love how you said it started with one because I was gonna ask you like
Mm.
how has this grown in like an unexpected way?
Yeah, I feel like sometimes I have so many styles that I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to just stop making
Yeah.
so many things because then it's hard to kind of replenish. So inventory is always a very big challenge to navigate.
Yeah.
But I like the variety. I like that it is a whole collection. Like everyone
Right.
says, oh, I own all of it. Like It's
Wow.
rare. I mean,
Wow.
some people own a few things, but they're like, oh, I wear that every day, or oh, I'm
Mhm.
always wearing that, or I
Yeah.
have that, I have that, I have that. And like, there's people that
That's
have
so cool.
multiples of the same thing, or they have every single one that I bought. Like, it's a cult. It's like a cult following in a way,
That's amazing.
which is great. It's just about reaching more of those people.
Yeah, yeah, of course. But I mean,
Of
I
course.
think repeating customers is probably the biggest metric you can look at, right?
Yes. Yes.
That's amazing.
So just like thinking about like, because this week is my 5-year anniversary of launching my
Oh,
brand.
also tough.
Thank you. And it's still very much like a small business, which I like. Like it
Mm.
kind of like brings me to like shuls. Like in Park Slope, we like started this like little shul. And I like when things are like stiebelish.
Yeah.
When it gets to like,
Cozy.
yeah, I like that. Maybe it's,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, especially in a business. I like keeping it homey.
Yeah. I get it though, but also you're coming from the corporate world, which is very different. I get why.
Yeah, I like the chatting. I like
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
I like that. I
You
like
have
the
like a
fact that,
direct line to your customers.
yeah, I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
I like going to pop-ups. I like meeting people. I like yapping,
Yeah.
knowing about their kids and whatever, they got going on.
Yeah.
And sometimes then when you get to like a fancy new shul building or your shul upgrades, then it changes the dynamic.
100%.
So that would be nice to change. Like there are certain aspects about my
Yeah.
business that I would like to change. Of like,
While
I
keeping the
don't
like,
mind that.
yeah. But
We're
keeping like the
ordering. Yeah.
core like feel.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
because like you said, like I am the brand. Like they're coming for that.
Exactly. I think that's a very relatable thing for entrepreneurs. I think especially like women entrepreneurs, like
Yeah.
and people who are a founder facing brand. I feel like because you don't want to lose that, but you also want to grow, and it's like how do you balance
How do you balance?
the personal with the business, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm. That's
yeah,
that's
it's a
probably
big
like the
thing.
biggest challenge. And as
Yeah.
a mom, how do you balance all the things?
Oh, let's talk about that. How do you feel about the word balance?
I do a ton of stuff, like not gonna lie. I teach tons of yoga. I do tons of stuff on Transcendent, but like I am always there for my kids. Like I'm always like, okay, no, sorry, I'm taking my kids to the pool. No, I'm going to
Yeah.
boxing. I'm taking them to boxing. I'm picking them up. Like
So
that
how do
was
you do it?
also, um, well, I guess I shut it off at that time, but I'm still doing it in between. But I'm not like the parent that's, I at least hope that they see, like people see, like I'm not like just here when I'm supposed to be with my
Right.
kids. I'm actually like having fun with my kids.
So you're
I want to
very
have fun.
when you're working or you're doing yoga, you're working, you're doing yoga. When you're with your kids, you're with your kids.
Yeah. And
Got it.
then like maybe I'm like checking my emails like everybody, but I'm not like
Right.
with the laptop up like certain times, but
Well,
not
life, yeah.
for the overall. It's not like that. Like I'm actually like in the pool with them playing or
Wow.
going to take them and like knowing that you gotta, that's a part of it. Like that's my other career. So
Right, yeah.
I have to
It
do.
ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, if anything, it's getting more challenging.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So I want to ask you, like, looking back at now, like at your 18-year-old self, what would you tell her?
like, wow, you really can accomplish a lot of things.
Oh, I love that.
It's really nice. It's like amazing.
That's so cool. I love the
So,
like, yeah.
yeah.
How did
And
you?
not always thinking like, especially if I'm going to say like for an 18-year-old, sometimes when you're starting out, you're like, you need this and
Yeah.
this and this and a corner officer and this amount of money, all these things. And like, you might get to that point and you're like, wait, this?
Yeah.
I think that
All
was the
the
blessing of
reaching.
COVID. Yeah. Like a lot of people were like, I'm commuting this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
This is the point. Like, at least, now maybe working remote for more people, like my husband works remote or not having to commute so much or do all these things. It's like, oh, I can be there more for my family. That's
Yeah.
nice.
You keep answering my questions before I even ask them because no, you're like a little mind reader because my next question was how are you measuring success now versus in early on in your career?
Um, Success is like being able to feel super like so much gratitude and like the joy of like, wow, I get to do this. Like, this is awesome. Like it's not easy. It definitely helps when the orders are flowing in. I'm like, woo, yay, but like my husband always puts it in perspective of like, all right, calm down, relax. Like Hashem takes over. Like, like not just looking at the day, looking at like the
The
year
bigger picture, yeah.
and seeing like, oh, wow, look at the increase. Look at this, look at that. Like, and getting to do all of these things that also help the one thing. Like, I think for a period, I was just like looking at my computer and Transcendent and being like, okay, what's next? And then I'm like, I have to teach yoga. I have to go to pop-ups. I have to go do this. I have to have calls. I have to, because again, that's a ripple effect.
Yeah. I feel like at every stage, let's say you realize you don't enjoy that job and you started your own, but then you start to focus on the metrics of like how many orders, and it's a constant like resetting and getting back to like the set, right? Like it's over and over again. It's never ending.
It's never ending.
Yeah.
That's depressing. Yeah. Like I don't want to do that. I can't. I'm here to like create this stuff. Now I'm gonna hire people that know how to do all that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it. Or I can only do so much. I'm not an expert here. I'm an expert in the other things.
Yeah, and a lot of times the creative people are not the experts in the business part of stuff,
right? No.
And it's hard.
It's hard. I know. This week, I'm, please God, hiring this new girl to handle all of like email marketing and SMS and all that because I can't. I tried.
You're not meant to do it alone and know how to do everything.
Yeah. It's good to learn it though. Like that is one advice that I did get from my friend who's an entrepreneur. And she was like, no, before you even begin to hire someone, because a lot of people I think do that. They hire this and this and we're operating like, a Fortune 500 company.
Yeah.
You have to learn it because then you're in a meeting and then someone's
you have to know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And they're pulling a fast one on you. You're like, no. I know that's not the way.
Yeah. So my last question is something that I ask all my guests, and that is what being a trailblazer means to you.
Carving your own path, but staying true to the place that you came from. So where you started the path and where you go on the journey, it's like all fully immersed. I would say being a trailblazer.
Wow. I like that. That's a unique perspective. Thank you so much.